It's the Winemakers on Sporting News, presented by Jack Daniels. Monday Night Football. Hey, we've had some good ones. We'll see how this turns out. On paper, Kansas City's at Pittsburgh. Steelers 11.5. Total on the game is 43. Let's just start with the Chiefs. It has been an abomination. They are fighting tooth and nail with Jacksonville for the first pick in the draft.
And who is the first pick in the draft,
by
the way? That's been a foregone conclusion for the last couple of years. Yeah, the Chiefs only turned it over 29 times in 8 games. All that being said, and the Steelers have developed a running game they haven't had for the last 3 years with 3 straight backs over 100 yards, and they're the 3rd and 4th string backs on the roster. That being said, Steelers get the Ravens next week in Pittsburgh. Coming off the win over the Giants, Kenny, little look ahead for the Steelers in this one?
I think it is a little look ahead. And I think they have the Ravens twice in the next 4 weeks.
Next 3
weeks, yeah. They some really difficult games coming up. This one's probably a game they're looking at that they could go through the motions and win. They're not thinking that, but maybe they are thinking that. They're thinking they could just play average and still beat Kansas City.
If Kansas City only turns it over once or twice, it could be a close football game.
But let's just throw this out there, and it's one of those veiled things. You go, really? Kansas City is an over team. They're 6-2 to the over, and they put up 347 yards of offense every game. Here's the rub. 70% of those yards are in garbage time when they're way behind.
A lot of them, you're right. They're behind. They've never been ahead.
They're always behind. They haven't been ahead for a minute all year.
Right. They've never been ahead during the game. They've never been ahead.
Overtime at New Orleans.
They've only scored 55 points in their last 4 games. So they're not putting the ball in the end zone either. It's just a bad football team right now. Romeo Cornell may be out the way this team's playing.
Steelers, real quick. It's been a mess running the football. Mendenhall, Dwyer, Redmond, hurt all year long, although Redmond did have a big game against the Giants.
Redmond had a big game. Dwyer had 200-yard games before that. I think the difference that you're seeing from the last couple of years with the Steelers is for 2 or 3 years, their offensive line has been all banged up every season. They started out this season that way. Now they're getting healthy. They're talking about getting David DeCastro, the first-round pick, back. Steelers can run the ball again. They're going to be a force down the stretch if they can run it like that. I just don't see how focused they're going to be on Monday night, and I think it's a big number. I'd have to favor the dog.
Jump on the under right now because there's a good chance it may rain in Pittsburgh on Monday, all day Monday and Monday night, grass field. If it gets windy, this total's going to plummet, and I think it'll get even further. It may go to 40, and if you don't like it, you can always get off it. I don't think you're going to see worse than 43 if it doesn't rain, so you might be able to create yourself a middle.
Good information from the fellas. It's Monday Night Football, Kansas City visiting Pittsburgh.